Hello everyone, I want to show you guys a war hammer that I made. Okay, so last week I did a battle axe, and somebody had suggested that I also make a war hammer. I did end up giving that battle axe away to somebody as a gift, but I did make the war hammer. Okay, so with the war hammer, this is the primary hitting side, right? And you can see it's got some lightning cuts that I fire cut into this. Okay, so this is the primary hitting side. And then on this side, a lot of times with a war hammer, they'll have a back spike. I don't like the back spike because it tends to get stuck in things. So if you hit something and the spike penetrates, it's really hard to get it out. So I prefer putting an axe on the back side because this has multiple purposes. This can actually be used as a tool. Okay, now this isn't really good for chopping wood, but in the pinch, I mean, you know, it's an axe. Okay, so one of the things that stand out about this axe head, number one, it's really light, right? So it's not like an axe like this. So this is a wood cutting axe. It's got a lot more meat here. It's rounded. You really can't fight with this. I mean, you can, but you know, with this I have to make like really big, you know, wide motions, right? Especially if I'm fighting with a shield. Okay, if I'm fighting with a shield, you know, I have to use a lot of rotational cuts in order to fight with this because there's just so much head with this. Whereas with something like this, right, you know, I can keep this. I can turn this over in front of my body, so this is actually defensive, you know. So I can block with this, return, and I can make these returning cuts, right, especially cuts that come over the opposing shield, and I can turn it over because it's so much lighter. Okay, so this is a dedicated fighting axe or battle axe or war hammer, because this is defensive. By this staying in front of me, it's blocking me while I'm attacking. Okay, I posted lots of videos where I'm fighting with medieval weapons. So I've been fighting medieval combat for about 18 years. So as I design these medieval weapons, I'm bringing that experience into the design, which again is going to be very similar to the, you know, it's going to basically mirror the historical weapons. Okay, so with this one over here, instead of it having a curved axe blade over here, it's flat, right? And the reason why you would want a curve, right, on an axe like this. All right, so if you look at this one, it's slightly curved, and the reason for that is when you impact, whether you hit here or you hit there or you hit here, you're gonna hit blade, right? You're gonna get, whether you hit here, or you impact here, this is a lot more forgiving for making a good cut. Okay, so that's why we want a curve in most cutting axes. For this one here, okay, this isn't meant for cutting. Okay, in fact, the primary place where this would hit is not here; it's the corners. So with the cut that I put into this, when you hit, it is most likely you're not going to hit with this part over here. You're most likely going to end up impacting with one of these corners, which is going to basically penetrate and concentrate that force on the corners. Okay, so this is designed for fighting. I would use this side over here, the axe side, to fight against armored opponents in mail armor or leather or no armor, right? That's, you know, this for armored combatants, I would use this side over here. Okay, so this is better for hitting plate or helmets. So the design on this is the same one I've copied off of these poleaxes that I've made. I've done a couple of videos on these. It's the same design basically. It's a historical design, and I got the wood over here, right? And then basically these plates here that I forged in the fire are riveted onto the shaft. Okay, then the head sits on top of the shaft, so the head is actually not, I mean, it's not so much sitting on the wood as it is so much sitting on top of these plates here that are like 1/8 of an inch thick on each side. So there's a 1/4 inch of steel here. So with this, even if you hit here, you hit a helmet with the haft, I mean, you're basically hitting with a 1/4 inch of steel. Okay, so this is from here to here. This is also a hitting surface, right? So the head sits on top. It's sitting on top of the steel here, and then this other piece of metal, this strap, which would on here is a top spike. So on here, the top spike basically comes down, and it holds everything in place. So on the Warhammer, I didn't put a spike because that would kind of be in the way. I mean you could, but you can also thrust with this corner right here. That also makes a very good thrusting corner. But what it is that this straps comes on down, it's riveted into this other plate here, and it holds this securely in place. Okay, so this is a very solid design, and then I also put an end cap on the back. So this is also a good hitting surface, right? You can basically get the smashing surface and it also counterbalances the war axe. So the way this set up between these plates over here and the end cap over here, it has the balance point is right about there. So if I'm holding it here, balance point is about there compared to, say, an axe like this, right? That pretty much balances on the head itself, right? On the bottom of the head. So that's why this, I have to make these really big rotational cuts in order to move this. Whereas with this, because the steel here and the steel back here, and also the head being smaller, it brings the balance point further back, so that allows me to rotate this. And the great thing about this design, the way I've balanced it, is that it is balanced on its y-axis. Okay, so I can easily rotate this around. So that's a huge advantage. In the first poleaxe that I made, on this one over here, I went for a big axe head, right? So this is the first one that I made. You can see how there's more axe head over here. So this tends to it's not balanced on its y-axis. So when I hold this, right, if I try to rotate this, right, and flip it around, you see how it basically wants to go down, right? So with this one over here, okay, this is balanced on its y-axis. See, I can quickly flip this over. See how that rolls, right? So that's a major advantage to have in the fighting weapon. See, with this one over here, I really can't rotate it so quickly. So in the fight, if I'm on the axe side, if I want to flip it over to one side to the other side, it doesn't rotate as quickly. And what also tends to happen is if you have your weight forward, when you hit something, if you don't angle it perfectly, a lot of times it'll hit flat. It'll turn on you, right? If it's not balanced on its y-axis. So with this one over here, because it's balanced on its y-axis, when I hit something, it's less prone to rotating and spinning because it's got the same amount of weight on the backside. And I can quickly flip it over and hit with the hammer side if I want to. So same deal with this, right? This is balanced on its y-axis. So this, see how it, see how it rolls. So this I can hold it in my hand here, flip it over, go to one side, flip it over to the other side. So this is a very, very quick, fast weapon that I can flip over from one side to the other as I need to use it. Okay. So yeah, this is a fun project, and I really like this design. Like this was the first one. This was the second one I did. I really like this design with the lightning cuts, the way this shape is, right? With the lightning holes over here. I put a heart into this one. I do think I like this. I do think I like this one better. Just the simple hole over here. The reason is because this did take a lot more work to get to punch out the hot punch the heart in here, and as a result of that, it had to go in and out of the fire more times. So every time this goes into the fire, you get scaling, which is basically accelerated rust. So you lose a little bit of metal. Okay, so if you look at this, you'll see that there's more forging marks on this compared to this, because that was a lot easier to punch out and just a lot less in and out of the fire. So that's probably the design I'm gonna. Even though this heart looks interesting, I want to see if I could if I could do it. I said, yeah, let's put a heart into this. Now the benefit of the heart, I mean, basically because this is strongest in these corners here, so it's removing material, you know, going in the direction of the part that has the most metal, right, which is here and here. Okay, so that was the idea behind this heart design. But yeah, it was quite a bit of work. I mean, if I do another one, I'm probably just gonna stick with this design over here. Now, one of the things I wanted to test is I really like the way this one turned out, and I wanted to see if I could replicate it on this one. So it was also a test because you know I wanted to see if I could do it again, if I could do it consistently. And every time I do this, I mean, I get more practice, I get better at doing this. So, you know, again, you can flip this over really easy because it's balanced on that y-axis. Great fighting tool, and you got the end cap over here, which is also a very good, you know, hitting surface. Okay? So this is a fun project. I'm absolutely loving this this blacksmithing work that I started doing. So anyway, drop some comments. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you all soon. Hey guys, I want to show you guys one more thing. The problem I've always had with hammers and axes is, you know, that use this eye design where the stick basically goes through a hole in the top of the hammer or the axes. You know, the head eventually comes loose, right? So you can see I've got like screws in here trying to expand the wood and hold it in place. All right, so this is a problem, and in fact, when I was trying to peen, you see there's a curve in there, right? It kind of curves in. So I had this in a vise, and I was basically hammering this over here to kind of shape it. And not in this one, but on my other peen hammer, the head actually like flew off while I was working. So I'm going, and all of a sudden the head goes flying off, and I got like really pissed off. And I said, that's it. I am fixing this thing permanently. So this is the hammer where the head came flying off. So what I did is I took some. Basically, I went back. I used the Langet design. I welded 2 pieces of metal onto the side of this hammer over here with the arc welder, and then I passed a rivet through here. And I'm like, you are never coming off again, man. Basically, the wood would have to basically break, like over here somewhere, in order for this now to ever come off. Now, I did use an electric welder on this. I did not use an electric welder on any of these other things I made on these. They were all forged using using a gas forge. But on this one over here, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to get this job done. I got this stupid head that keeps flying off, you know, and I was actually like hammering it, trying to hammer it back in place, because it was just like I only had so much work I needed to get done, and I'm like, okay, if I could just hammer this back in place, maybe it'll stay. And I started hammering, and the head comes flying off again. And I said, that's it. I need a permanent fix. So that's the permanent fix, man. So this is an excellent design. I mean, I think that the old hammer should have this design. I mean, nowadays they use the if you get like the ones with the plastic handles, they kind of like use like an epoxy glue. Those don't come off. But on these wooden ones, if you have a problem with the head flying off, you know, consider doing this.